Hi, everybody. Okay, so today what we want to talk about is quite a few people ask me when it comes to missions that obviously a mission can be as big or as small or as infinite or whatever's in your mind. It is only limited by imagination, nothing else. And sometimes people feel that they are limited by things like resources, connections, opportunities, maybe having good social media or creative media, or maybe even marketing out there, ads, funnels, landing pages, all the different things we can get. So today we want to go really super simple. So the first part of your mission is to define it. I am on a mission too. So we need to know what the two is. And usually the why comes from your story. So the thousands of people that we've spoken to in the Quantum Dojo over the last 10 odd years, every single person has a life story, a journey. Typically, they have got adversities, challenges, things that they've had to overcome. And usually that is what fuels the mission. You was given that life path for a reason. This is why you're the person that can actualize and activate and do all the great, amazing stuff for your mission. But it is also going to be the reason why you will find struggles and challenges, because they tend to be internal. And a lot of them will come along and appear external. So if we said something like, okay, you need $50,000 to buy some ads, build a website, have a copywriter, etc., and that person went, oh, okay, well, I don't have $50,000, so therefore I can't do my mission. That's the wrong way to look at it. What we want to be doing is going, okay, so that's something I aspire for on my mission, but what tools and resources do I have this minute? We also need to choose one thing. So for example, if you're sitting there going, well, I've got a book and I've got a course and I can teach and I can speak, I can do workshops, I can do groups, I can do a digital, I can do a membership, I can do 50,000 trillion other things. Stop. One thing that I got taught a long time ago by very successful entrepreneurs was always focus on one thing. The more sporadic your energy is, and the more you are all over the place with different projects, different platforms, different this, different that, you're never going to actualize the main core of the mission, simply because the energy is not being poured in the right place. Okay, it's about the foundation. So we need to choose one thing. Now, whether that's somebody who, let's say you're an author, so your book is the be all and end all and you want to sell your book, great, focus on your book. Doesn't mean that you can't do talking, speaking, workshops, summits or whatever around your book, because you can. It just means that the paths are going to lead towards the book. Similarly, if you've got some sort of content and you want to teach it as a course or a one-on-one or an event or a retreat or whatever, pick one version of that and focus on that. The next thing we need to do is look at what we do have. Okay, so social media is free. So then we need to look at, okay, what can I put out every single day that talks about what my book, program, talk, event, whatever it might be, was designed to help people with. And remember, there's three core things here. There's the problem. What is it, the problem that it's solving in the first place? Now, you'll hear this in marketing all the time. Problems, benefits, solutions, outcomes, all these different things. It's very repetitive, but it's repetitive for a reason. Because if we just say, oh, I've written this amazing book or this great course and it's called happiness, I'm just going to leave it at that, happiness. Okay, great. Why is that going to inspire me to buy it? Now, you're going to be thinking, well, I wrote this great book on how to be the happiest version of you ever, so of course you want it. Well, not necessarily, because how does it speak to that person? Whereas if you've got a story, let's just pretend your story was you suffered from anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, low self-worth, and so on and so forth. And you, over the years, the decades of having different experiences and teachers and books and courses and events, you kind of formulated a happiness formula, and then you put it into a book. And now you want to help people condense and compound that time down so you can deliver to them, look, these are the ways that work for me. And if you are like me and right now you are feeling this and that and the other, and you would like to experience this, this and this, and, you know, have the life of, you know, happiness. Now, can you see how we're now starting to talk to the audience where they're at? We're also starting to understand them more. We're also then saying to them, look, I know that if you're looking at this right now, this is not a place you actually want to be. So I'm now going to start describing to you the place you do want to be. And now we can move to that place. What is the outcome? You know, what does life look like when we're at that place? Now we're starting to get to a point from a sharing and offering perspective that people will start to go, yeah, I would like that. Actually, I'm going to buy this book, or I'm going to download this free gift, or I'm going to jump on this live web class, or whatever it might be. And then from there, we need to, as I said, have one road. So let's pretend this happiness thing is a web class, let's pretend. And let's pretend at the end of the web class, I've got a 6-week program. Okay, but let's say at the moment I don't have anybody on it, so I'm just going to have to deliver it one-on-one, let's say. So then I need to make sure I've got some sort of price point. Always start your price point at what you're comfortable at selling at. So somebody like me will tell you what the market value is or what we believe that you can sell that program for. But if you're not comfortable with it, that's not where you should start it. So let's pretend right now you're like, okay, well, I would feel comfortable in delivering it in this way and charging this amount of money. Okay, that's what you begin with, because you've got the confidence and the courage to then get on those calls and talk to people. Now, I am missing a ton of things there in terms of, yes, there's sales processes. Yes, there's ways that we onboard people. Yes, there's ways for customer journeys and so on and so forth. But remember that everything needs to be simple before it can get sophisticated, because sophisticated can be complicated and a mess if it's not based on simplicity in the first place. So one of the reasons why I started by saying you don't want to have scattered energy, and I see this all the time, is because if you are unclear, then everybody around you is unclear, and therefore nobody's going to feel drawn and compelled to work with you. So you need to be putting out daily content, thinking solely about what your course, program, book, event, whatever it might be, is, and continuously talk to people about, I remember when I felt like this. And so I learned some techniques. And one of them is you could try this. And when I had that, it made me feel better. So therefore my life changed in these ways. I've put all this together in an ebook for you, or in a class for you, or something. Register here to get that full information. Now we're starting to do that. Now also what we need is a little bit of help. So then you need to go around people that you trust and you know, and ask them to support you. They call it like little pods. So a pod is where you could find maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 if you're lucky, people who are going to support your social media. So they're people that are going to go on there, they're going to like it, love it, comment on it, share it, help you bump it up in the feed. And if you can get that, brilliant. If you can also tag people in it, or if you can also email people that you know and say to them, I'm doing this course, class, book, whatever, and explain to them a little bit about why you're doing it, who it helps, how it helps, and where they're going to get to do it. And say to them, you know, do you know anybody that this might be beneficial to? Can you share it for me? So you want to try and find as many people that can support your cause, because ultimately you don't want to be just posting out there and expecting 500 people are going to come in tomorrow, because that's not usually the case, not unless you've got a really supportive network and people that are already customers or consumers and so on. Now I'm giving you that in terms of like the sort of the skinny version, because everybody has to start from somewhere, and everybody gets overwhelmed in a mission, thinking that your mission needs to immediately straight out the gate be 7, 8, 9 figures or something. None of them are. Everybody's mission starts from zero. Everybody, there's nobody that doesn't start from zero. So you have to start from zero, and you have to go, okay, so what would be my next step? Maybe your next step's getting $1,000, maybe it's $5,000, maybe it's getting the next 25,000. It doesn't really matter what the figure is, but it's just about making that. We always call that, from a dojo perspective, setting up for success, because you want to set yourself success steps so that you can make some, we call this like a ninja DMO, ninja daily method of operation. And a daily method of operation is what you call needle movers. It's things that's going to make the difference. So if you wake up and think, oh, okay, I know, I will look at this program, this course, that course, read this, read that, do the other, and then I'll eventually get onto my marketing. That's backwards. First and foremost is your marketing. It's you doing the stuff for your business. It's you networking. It's you talking to people. It's you asking for support. It's you sharing things. It's you joining groups. It's you DMing people. It's you doing whatever it takes, because that's just the nature of it. And I think one of the quintessential questions you have to ask yourself from a mission perspective is, how willing am I to get uncomfortable? Because for a lot of people, they'll go, ooh, don't want to be DMing people. Ooh, don't want to be doing videos. Ooh, don't really want to be bothering people. Ooh, I don't want to send them an email the other day. I don't want to send them another email. You have to think that unless you're constantly sharing and offering what you do, how can you help anybody? They don't know about you. And just because you posted on Monday doesn't mean people saw it. Maybe the person who needed to see it wasn't there till Tuesday afternoon, but there's no post. So you have to always put yourself in the place of the people, not of yourself. So it's not necessarily convenient to you, but it's not about your convenience. It's about you delivering the mission. So every day you need to set yourself a few things. Now we use blocks of 3. So 3 would be the target number there in terms of what 3 things are the needle movers for the mission today. Now, to begin with, it could be the same 3. It could be the same, okay, I need to do social media. I need to reach out to people. I need to have people on my calendar to talk to. And that might be a little bit of a rinse and repeat for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, fine. It doesn't really matter, because it does take time and it does take momentum. Don't be putting, okay, I've done a couple of social media posts this week. I did a video this week. I had a couple of email conversations or chats on LinkedIn. That's not enough, not anywhere near enough. Whatever the number you think it is, quadruple it by quite a lot. So if you think you need to speak to 2 people, make it 20, make it 200, because it is a numbers game in terms of when we're doing this more organic style, reaching out to people using social media. Even ads are a numbers game. The only difference being is that you're paying to put that advert in front of so many people. So the platform is pushing the ad in front of people's faces, not you personally, but it is no different. So whichever way you look at it, whether you have PR, whether you are on an advert, whether you have social media, whether you're on a podcast, whatever it might be, whatever medium is, they all kind of come down to the same thing. It's about putting that message and that mission out there in front of as many people as possible. And if you remember every day, that is my sole task every single day, to get this out of people. Now, along the way, as you start to have income coming in and more funds, then for sure, we need to start getting things to look the business in terms of having beautiful branding, wonderful websites, and having amazing copy and design and film and landing pages and ads and all this really more sophisticated, higher end stuff to really put your mission out there and set it apart from other people's work, when you know, when people are competing and you want to make sure that your stuff stands out, but you can do it incrementally. So it isn't an either either situation. It's a situation of, we do this bit today, then we do that bit tomorrow, and that. And so a lot of times for me, the reason why I often refer to sort of like the whole black belt journey is because these missions aren't something that are going to get completed in 2 weeks. There's no program on the earth that is going to enable you to deliver a mission in 6 weeks. You know, so it's, you know, we kind of go against the cloth in that way, because you've got a lot of people out there saying, you know, we can get you to 6 figures in this, and we can do this, and we can do that, and we can do the other. But yeah, maybe if you're selling flowers online, yeah, maybe you could, because you've got an e-commerce shop and you do enough ads for people looking for flowers, and your price happens to be cheaper than the market value at the moment. So yeah, maybe you get tons of orders and your floristry is blooming, you know, great. But missions tend to be slightly different, and they're more about an accumulation. It's more about a rolling momentum. So many of these missions are your life's work. It's your legacy. It's something that you're going to be putting a lot of years in. You might not even want to retire from. So you have to look at it in terms of long, medium, and short in terms of the game plan. So what I've just talked to you about today is a short game plan. Doesn't mean we're taking our eye off the ball of the medium and the long game plans, but it just means that if you're on your own, focus on your short game plan until you can then hook up with others and be in a team with other people that can help you with your further goals. So I wanted to share that piece of information because I do speak to a lot of people each week where they're in that sort of struggling zone where they're not quite getting it to a point where they can afford to work with other people, but they're pretty much most of the time not spending their time on the right things. They're spending the time on the wrong things, and then they wonder why it's not working. So the reason why it's not working is 80% of your time needs to be on marketing, not building pretty things, not chatting to people, not, well, I say not chatting to people, what I mean is not just mindless chit chat, not going on, you know, just networking and just meeting people for the sake of it. I'm on about really targeted efforts that are talking to your audience and explaining things and sharing things and educating them and letting them see you and meet you and find your personality, because people can watch a video like this and, you know, and I know full well people are looking at it and go, I don't like you or I like you. Simple. And we all have to just be okay with that. We all have to just go, okay, fine, because, you know, maybe the feeling's mutual, I don't know, but for most of us it's a case of, you go online, be yourself, and the people that like you will come speak to you, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to like them. It's just that often reciprocated thing. It's very unlikely, I find, that if you are on a digital platform and people get to see you and get to know your personality and stuff, and you meet them, that you're going to really dislike them. It's a bit harder because they're already like there's a bit of a kinship there in terms of there'll be some overlaps in personality. Whereas obviously when we don't know people at all, then, and we just meet people on a phone call, you've got a much higher threshold then for the two not necessarily being a good fit, which is why it's always really, really important and vital to have questionnaires and to screen and qualify calls, because you want to make sure that you're matching up and spending your time on calls that are going to be people with a good fit for you. So I hope you found that's useful today, and let us know how you're getting on with sort of getting out there and reaching out. And if you want some more ideas and stuff on how to do that, we can do another video on that shortly. Okay, take care. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.